we'll be talking about SeaWorld trying to rehabilitate the orcas into the ocean. And some of the reasons will be that a killer whale is supposed to swim up to 100 miles a day, and that's just for food alone, to get their food. And at SeaWorld, they can only swim about 35 feet because the tank is so small for them, and it's filled with chemicals, which isn't good for their body, so they're always trying to pump in medicines that they wouldn't get in the wild. And these bad living conditions cause their dorsal fin to collapse, and all male killer whales held in captivity have a collapsed dorsal fin, and about 1% of wild killer whales only have the collapsed dorsal fin. And a quote by Jennifer Kennedy says, because they have no space in which to swim freely and are fed an unnatural diet of thawed, dead fish, SeaWorld claims that this condition is common. However, in the wild, it rarely ever happens and is a sign of an injured or unhealthy killer whale. Another thing is that they're taken from all over the world and placed in these tanks and are forced to be called a pod. But their pods are supposed to be made up of their families, and pods can grow up to 75 members. And because they're not used to each other, they have different vocal ranges. It's like for us speaking a different language. They don't communicate well, which leads to attacks and dominance problems. For an example, there was 2 female orcas who had a fight, and one of the orcas swam right into the other, causing the orca to break their jaw and bleed to death in front of a live audience. There is a plan in the making of having sea pens on an island where there's a big coastal cove, and they want to try to retrain the killer whales to hunt and to live on their own. The only problem is that SeaWorld says that it's not going to work because they're so dependent on them. They won't even give it a try. But there has been a success of the killer whale Kiko. He was able to go back into the wild, and he lived there for about a year, but due to some complications with his health, he did die of pneumonia, but they're just saying that they need to have a better rehabilitation program.